Leadership Long Beach presents its Corporate Leadership Award to Mike Murray of Verizon.
I'm Randy Gordon. Murray, you should be worried by now. I was your first contact when you came to Long Beach 10 years ago. And now we're going to see a film.
Fortunately, I found some great leaders here in Long Beach who took me under their wing, people that are very prominent in the community.
What is your definition of leadership?
Someone who's part of a team, understands the team, and helps bring the team forward.
Athletics has played a big role in Mike Murray's leadership abilities. A sense of humor doesn't hurt either. And he can dance.
You have an example of a leadership situation that occurred to you personally that really had a major impact on your life?
I'm enjoying the Marine Corps, and stood in line for the next 2 years, actually. But when I got back, I went back to Santa Monica College to see if I could essentially get back on the football team. I went to one of the coaches, and he said, you know, you're a little late, and so I was walking off campus, and I had a job lined up with a plumbing company. I walked by the offensive coordinator, and he said, let me see what I can do. And I fortunately, very, very fortunately, got back on the team. I guess the most fortunate thing is that I'm not working on your plumbing.
Mike Murray of Verizon, Corporate Leader, 2008.
But the question everybody asks is, if you couldn't dance, what would have happened? You kind of made a career out of imitating James Brown at every opportunity, regardless how irrelevant the gathering. I will never forget the night at the Chamber Gala when you took off your jacket and you threw in the audience and you did a James Brown dance number. Mike, you were a great friend to a lot of people, including me. I consider you one of my very best friends. We both graduated from Cal State Fullerton together. We're the same age. We both love sports. Your eating habits are very strange. We never agreed on movies. Once you walked out of me on a movie. You won't go to Rotary with me. And lastly, you never bought me a dinner. But man, I still love you. Ladies and gentlemen, the first Leadership Long Beach Corporate Leader of the Year Award. Welcome Mike James Brown Murray.
Thanks, Randy, and thank you, Leadership Long Beach. Joey Miller said I can speak for 1 minute, which means they don't want you to say anything. Beverly said I can have her time, and that's as long as she wants. My view was that leaders were born, formed by experience and struggle, not a trait that could be taught or learned. I felt the School of Leadership was not something you could apply to. I eventually became president of Leadership Long Beach, and something began to change about my views on leadership. Mainly that it had to be studied and studied closely. We need to study the likes of Jerry Miller, Brian Gimmillero, and Jack Henschey, and Beverly O'Neill. I compare Beverly O'Neill to two people, the Roosevelts. She has Eleanor's social conscience and commitment to service, and Franklin's leadership that inspires by its very nature, and both of their courage. That needs to be understood. How does a woman or man become so clearly the leader for their time that the body politic doesn't elect them, it drafts them into service? Jerry Miller, like Joseph Campbell or Alan Watts, taps into something that is universal, guiding and nurturing at once. How does one develop into that type of leader? Anyone who spends any time with him considers him their mentor. That needs to be studied. Except in golf. I understand that's pretty painful to watch. In my mind, there is no better example of ethics and leadership than Jack Henschey. Leadership not founded in ethics is built on sand. The Wines and McClowry team reflects Jack's belief in fairness. Anytime an economic bubble bursts, and we know it will, we're reminded that ethics means ultimate and long-term success. This needs to be studied, taught, and applied. Leaders have a tendency to win, but not always, and it doesn't seem to be requisite for great leadership. Some leaders have the courage to lead into an environment where victory is remote, or not possible even, but they are undeterred. Brian Gimmillero is the winningest leader Long Beach has ever known, and will ever know. Brian's leadership style is about teaching, making players better people. He's a teacher whose leadership has led to one of the greatest records in the history of sport. He won't discuss that. He'll gladly discuss the character of a player and her growth as a leader. I work for a leader who, like the ones I've mentioned, is a coach first, and someone you want to work as hard as you can for because you know he's working harder than anyone on the team. Thanks for your coaching and leadership, Tim. Leadership Long Beach changed my views and my thinking on the importance of studying and developing leadership models. It hasn't cured my cynicism, though. While watching the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, while everyone was in total awe and disbelief of the precision and beauty of the Chinese show, I was thinking, what's next? 2008 Janet Jackson breasts? It's tough. Thank you again, Leadership Long Beach.
Mike Murray of Verizon, Corporate Leader 2008.